Hey you! So today, Beast Morphers dropped. I watched it and I think my entire whole time watching was because I have got to admit this was possibly one of the best Power Ranger episodes I have seen in a very long time. Oh, this whole thing is just so different. So I'm going to review it and give my thoughts on it. Before we jump into the video, if you want to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as click the notification bell to be notified that when more videos drop. We open up on this really nice shot of the different parts of the city, and we have a news reporter, and she's talking about this Morph X Energy that scientists have been able to kind of tap into the morphing grid and be able to use that energy to power things. So it's a clean energy rather than what we're using at the moment. I actually really like what this news report is saying. Is it a good thing or it's a bad thing? And just throwing it out there straight away, you know it's going to be a bad thing all along, but I am really kind of glad that they put this in here. We then come to the scene of what could be the Rangers' new hangout. It's a gym. And this kind of really reminds me of Mighty Morphing episode 1. It's taken very, very similar to this. We have Blaze actually teaching a lesson, and this really kind of reminds me of Mighty Morphing episode 1, Day of the Dumpster. And we see the same sort of poses. We now come up to a scene where Blaze is looking at Devon, and Devon's kind of not really paying attention. He's just listening to his music, just doing what he wants to do. And this kind of really infuriates Blaze. He wants him to turn around and actually learn. When Devon turns around and goes, actually, come on, like, there's nothing challenging. You need to give me a challenge. A fight breaks out between Blaze and Devon, and it's actually quite interesting. And straight away, I didn't think that we would get a fight scene between civilians for at least maybe episode 2. We're also introduced to Ravi and Roxy, and they're kind of like on this boundaries on the sideline, and Roxy's like, "Stop it, Blaze!" Trying to actually say, "No, you can't do this." It's a fight, and obviously, you kind of think someone would step in. Devon says, Blaze, you're going to get hurt, and then Blaze just hits his hand straight onto a beam or a pole or whatever. The fight is stopped by Devon's dad, who is the mayor of Coral Harbor. This is the location where we found out that the Rangers are going to be in and that they're going to be fighting. One thing that we are going to find out much later on is Blaze now really hates Devon. He's been humiliated, where Devon has just kind of walked away scot-free. I know that Blaze wants to get revenge on him, and we're going to possibly see that this is going to be a much more kind of fueled thing for the entire series, which I'm now really excited for. We now get a scene with Devon and his dad, and basically his dad is saying, you shouldn't be at the gym, you should have been at this job interview. You're very good at karate and video games, but you should be working, and these aren't going to work for you. If only Devon's dad actually thought, do you know what? Video games is a good thing that you can play. You're missing an opportunity on that one. Devon's dad is going to Battle Grid or Battle Force Grid to find out about Morph X and open the ceremony, and this is when it piques Devon's interest, and he's like, damn, I want to be there, I need to go. But of course he gets shot down straight away, and this kind of really annoys him. Now, in the whole cast scene, we have Devon taking a photo of his dad's pass so he can get in. So again, it's kind of a spy-ish thing, which I like. One thing I have noticed is Devon's dad's thought process, which I really like, saying that, tapping into the morphing grid is a dangerous thing. And I really, really like this, because it's not just a thing of like, hells yeah, we're going to do it and we're going to use the power. It's like, you're really having to kind of take all of this in and be like, holy shit. That's what I kind of like. I like this whole being cautious about it. With Devon's dad now getting out of the car, going into the main building, and then obviously Devon kind of getting out as well and kind of sneaking in as too. We're now kind of introduced to two characters. I can't remember the names at the moment, but here they're kind of the Bulk and Skull characters of the thing. How do we know this? Because the music plays. So basically one of them is a kind of security officer to get in, and obviously needs to check the passes and stuff, but doesn't believe the mayor is the mayor because of his photo or something. And then again, we've got another kid coming across who is another security type, and he's trying to retinal scan, but that doesn't work. So obviously you have this entire whole scene where they're kind of messing up, and I can see where they're going. I just hope they're not going to be bad characters. So Gonna see how they are in the next couple of episodes, and if they're bad, then they're bad, but they may end up actually generally being good characters. So after all this kerfuffle that's going on, we're introduced to Zuri, and she kind of starts opening up to the mayor, talking about her kind of dreams, what she wants to be, how she was a cadet but kind of failed it and now works in the laundry room. But then, you know, they have this like bonding moment, which I generally really like, and I hope this kind of starts playing up later on. So it's nice to see a character that's so happy opening up about what she's been through already. Next part is that we meet the commander of the base, and she sends Zuri away, which she takes the mayor to like the kind of the Morph X room where all the technology is at the moment, and we get an explanation on what's going on. Now we see what the morphing grid energy actually looks like, and it's been refined into a liquid. We meet Nate, who is a very prodigal genius who apparently at the age of 6 was then transferred to this actual place. It kind of makes me think on how far along this series is and how long it's been in development, but yeah, it's just kind of really interesting. Now, I generally love this next line. He talks about how the bad guys, from Rita Repulsa to Sledge to Galvanax, how they've all come and wanted to take over the Earth, use the energy, etc., etc. I found this a huge moment where I geeked out and I was like, oh my god, this is really cool. As the mayor is talking about saying like, you've pretty much wrapped all this up in a bow, you're ready to give this to people, you know, they can easily take over and do whatever. You know, you kind of think, oh crap, yeah, that is a big thing. And Nate sees it, but I love the commander. She's like, oh god, one of these guys. Holy crap, why, you know, oh no. So I hope later on in the series she sees the dangers of all of this. Ironically, we get Devon sneaking about. He then gets taken to the lab, well, the Morph lab, where everything is about to go down. Oh no, who didn't expect this? The mayor gets a tour of the facility to showing you what the weapons are and how they're going to use it. So we're kind of getting explanation of how weapons are transported, what they're using and what sort of technology. And this is actually really fascinating. So I'm kind of really glad they've explained this in the first episode rather than just kind of jumping in and not caring. So we get kind of a bit more explanation on the Morph X Energy, how it's going to combine the candidate's DNA with animal DNA, giving them the powers. So again, very kind of sneaky and very interesting, and I'm really glad this is all explained because it's all now properly done, which I'm kind of excited about. Now we come up to a clip that was shown online the other day, which is Devon actually seeing Evox actually come in through the energy to actually become a bad guy, to actually kind of hide himself. And I genuinely like this. This kind of was a sneaky way, but one thing that I will say is when Devon gets caught and is kind of escorted out, he says, hey, there is something here. He could have pointed, go look at this container, it's been smashed. And then they could have put it all off. But no, he gets put in a detention cell, and as the commander says, hey, check all the stuff, make sure it's done. And when Nate goes, no, you know, we won't have time, she's like, do it quickly. So you kind of think they would have shut this all down because of one person seeing it, and they could have shown evidence. So, nope. Now, one thing I am kind of glad they put in, but I'm really disappointed at the same time. We come up to a scene with Ravi and Roxy, and they're talking about a relationship that they had before they became Rangers. Roxy is really still in love with Ravi, and I hope this kind of plays out later on with her avatar, which I'll talk about in a bit. But Ravi is like, no, Rangers can't date. You know, things could happen. And you see that Roxy is really like, oh, you know, she still loves Ravi, and I have a feeling that this love will continue. When Roxy is back to normal, you will see more kind of relationships with them. But dear God, it was kind of nice that they put this in, but I kind of really wish they did have a thing. It would make some of the episodes really interesting and kind of a different play. You've got two Rangers in love, boom, you know, kind of one is evil, one isn't. That would have been cool. You know, you could have had so many, like, not weird terms, but, you know, it's a thing of, like, I can't fight her because I'm in love with her, and, like, she won't destroy him mainly, but she'll go for the others. There is a missed opportunity here. A missed opportunity. We now have Roxy, Blaze, and Ravi are now in the machine to actually become Rangers. And this is when everything is flipped, the energy is going around, and all of a sudden Evox goes through, and he starts taking over Blaze and Roxy, and oh my god, everyone is shocked. They're like, what? What's going on? You know, they've been warned, but we can see now the kind of like the ramifications of what's going on. As everything is malfunctioning, we've got Devon and we've got Zuri that run into the lab to actually help. First of all, Zoe's like, no, you know, she doesn't want to do it, but then she goes, no, I've got to face problems straight on, and she rushes in, and Devon just kind of just goes back in. He's just like, oh, I want to go find out. That's it. Basically, as we've got the evil versions of Blaze and Roxy have now been created, Ravi is about to be taken over, but Devon shoots the energy line, which then stops the actually energy going all the way through, which then makes sure that Ravi doesn't actually get turned evil. This then sparks off a huge fight going on. Dear God, it's amazing. Now, I would talk more about it, but I have done a video on it, so we're going to kind of skip this little part, but the fight scene was absolutely amazing. Previously in my other video, I thought the Rangers would go into the morphing grid, get their powers, blah, 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 blah. So when Roxy pushes the Rangers back into the machine, Nate shoots down this metal girder which cuts off Roxy's kind of tentacles or kind of wires, whatever they are, and turns on the machine to actually make the Rangers morph. We now get a quick like kind of vortex thing that goes around them, then going to green to the Ranger colors, and we see that they have morphed into Power Rangers. Over the course of this fight scene, we see that the Rangers use their powers. Devon uses his speed because he has the cheetah. Zoe, who uses the power of the jump rabbit or something, basically a rabbit, and then obviously Ravi uses the power of the gorilla, and we see that all these powers kind of use on, and they're still getting kind of used to it, but they think it's really, really cool. The Rangers all now turn around and they have to kind of defend Nate for a little bit. They figured a way of getting rid of them, so they use the devices that can be that can teleport anything to anywhere depending on the coordinates. As Nate is kind of trying to program them to turn around and send the avatars away, they have to kind of distract them. Ravi does this quite easily. The Rangers then place these devices around in a triangle, and once they've all been set, they've been activated, and it teleports Roxy and Blaze away. Pretty much into the morphing grid, I'm gonna guess. And I think later on we'll get an explanation of where did you send them, which dimension. They'll be like, we sent them to the morphing grid because that's the only place I could think of, and just therefore it's done. One thing we do is we get this kind of really cool scene where it's all destruction. The lab has been like completely damaged, but I really like the kind of the triangle point. I think that was kind of cool. Then we get the Rangers taking off their helmets. They're really happy. They're like, yeah, okay, we've done this. And they don't know what to do next. We then jump to a scene with Roxy and Blaze have been kind of put into stasis chambers for now, and Ravi kind of looks back and thinks back to the point where he ended it with Roxy, and you know that she really loved him because she doesn't want to end the relationship, and we saw that previously in a few scenes ago. So I kind of really like this whole flashback, but I don't want too many flashbacks to their relationship because you could have had them together all the way through. Kind of wrapping this up because we're coming to the end of the episode. We find out that Blaze and Roxy are now in comas. Their avatars that have been created, the evil versions of them, have now taken over. So as soon as they are around, Roxy and Blaze will be in a coma for a very long time. We find out the Rangers have had their DNA mutated, which is explained, and then Ravi says that he's sorry to Devon, say, hey man, I should have jumped in on you to stop all this, you know, but I didn't. I'm really sorry. And the commander comes in and says, you guys are now Power Rangers. With that, we get kind of like a little mini speech from Zoe saying that Roxy should be here. She should be the Power Ranger herself, but isn't, and thus therefore she will take the place at the moment, which you'll see some sort of kind of rivalry later on. So yeah, that is kind of the breakdown of what's been going on in the first episode of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, and oh my god, this was amazing. My thoughts on this is one of the best Power Ranger episodes I have seen for a very long time. I had to watch all of it all the way through. I was so excited from watching this. I can see that they've put a lot of money into this at the moment, and also the acting I think is good. I generally think it's really good for this. I didn't kind of think, don't like that. I kind of like at the very beginning that Devon's dad is very like, I don't really trust this energy. You're going to probably see this much later on where he's going to have to speak to the commander. I now see this as a way of setting up SPD. So the whole base looked like SPD, or like maybe the beginning part of it. I generally like the fight scenes. I really like the way that the story was told. We weren't kind of thrown into your Rangers, oh my god, like we have previously. We kind of saw them build up, and then at the very end we saw the kind of the payoff. This episode, and Beast Morphers in general, I think is going to be amazing. Well, the episode's amazing, but Beast Morphers is going to be absolutely perfect in my eyes. I think that this is going to be a great series. I think that the acting is good. Gotta wait for more episodes. I'm not going to judge them straight away because this is the first episode, but oh my god, the hype paid off on this one. Dear god, was this possibly the best Power Ranger episode. Now, I can't wait to continue watching the series. I'm so glad that it's now back. I just hope they get rid of the really weird hiatus thing. So I generally can't wait to see what's going on with the series. So yeah. Oh, it's going to be good. Oh, it's going to be good. So if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and consider subscribing. Smash that notification bell to be notified there'll be more videos dropping. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.